The beautiful thing about Great Comet being on Broadway is that it demonstrates that the most innovative, youthful, experimental American work can have a place on America's biggest stage. And if that can be true of Broadway, there is a huge future for Broadway, not only as a commercial enterprise, but as an art form. And what I feel when I see Great Comet, it's what I felt when I've seen Hamilton or when I've seen Fun Home in previous years, is the sense of just tremendous pride that we are able to do the best of American theater, the most radical of American theater, the newest of American theater on Broadway. And that's really different from the image I had of Broadway 20 years ago. It's far too soon for us to know exactly what place Great Comet will have in history. What we can know right now is that Great Comet is the cutting edge of the spear. It's the tip of innovation in Broadway, and the fact that it's actually working, that it's attracting a Broadway audience to something that really just even a couple of years ago it's kind of unimaginable that would work, is really, really exciting, because again, as long as Broadway can innovate, Broadway is going to be central as an art form, as a place for real artistic experimentation. And that's what I think Great Comet represents. First time I saw the Great Comet was at Ars Nova, and I had no idea what to expect, and I was completely bowled over by the entire event. The thing that is just so extraordinary about Great Comet is the ambition that Dave Malloy had in trying to put on stage a hugely significant chunk of War and Peace in a musical format. And then the fact that the ambition is fulfilled, that he actually succeeds in doing it brilliantly. It's kind of breathtaking. The thing that I loved is that it was immersive theater where I as an audience member felt completely enveloped by, surrounded by, participating in the experience, that nonetheless had a story that was as powerful and moving and classical as any story you can imagine in the theater. So it was experimental in form, but the actual content of it felt as deep as Shakespeare. Rachel Chavkin is one of the most talented directors of her generation, without question. And what I love about Rachel's work is that she has developed and grown up within a devised theater context, where her company, the team, has made intellectually challenging research work that they've spent years developing, and now she's bringing that set of skills to musicals. So she's got the freshness of vision, the sense of needing to be an author of a production that devised theater people have. She actually needs to have her own stamp on it. And in doing that, she brings a kind of breadth to it and a kind of, again, it's like a fresh wind blowing through the theater that I find completely delightful. Dave Malloy could only be an American. There's no other national culture that would produce a Dave Malloy, who insists that the high and the low art belong together, that it's all one thing, that there's no distinction between what is deepest and most complicated in our arts and what is most popular and most accessible. Herman Melville is like that. In the old days, Shakespeare was like that. So Dave combines that sort of really democratic sensibility about all of what makes the theater art, all of what makes music is appropriate, belongs, has a place, with this huge open-hearted Americanness, this deep sentiment that never becomes sentimental, that makes his work tremendously emotional as well as delightful.